BLO to ask him. He can't decide he's of unsound mind. He can't, Malaj. He can't decide whether he's for the time being disqualified. These are all authorities that are outside of this act who will decide, right? Now come to 19. Subject to the foregoing provisions of this part, that is subject that he is not of unsound mind, he is not disqualified, he is not a citizen of the country. Every person who is not less than 18 on the qualifying date and is ordinarily resident in the constituency shall be entitled to be registered. So these are the only two elements that are required, Malaj. That's all. For that, Malaj, Aadhaar is a document that has to be relied upon. Not for the purposes of citizenship, but for the purposes of residence and for the purposes of age. And if these two conditions are satisfied, Malaj, he will be registered as a voter, subject to what my lord said, that he is not otherwise disqualified. That's the scheme of the 50 Act. Now, Malaj, I show to your lordship the 2003 guidelines.
Internal page 11, are you referring?
Yes, internal page 11.
Here you say Handbook of National Electoral Rolls Purification 16.
Correct. Special provisions.
Okay.
Yeah, just one sentence, Malaj, there. 32. It is clarified that it is not the job of the enumerator to determine the citizenship of an individual. However, they have the power and responsibility to exclude any person on the basis of the qualification for registration regarding age or ordinary residence. Why? Because the scheme of 16 is that this has to be decided by other authorities. Okay, that's one. Now, let's go into, I'll try and finish in 10-15 minutes. Let's go into, let's look at the 2003 electoral roll. Well, as anybody born after 1985 will not be on that electoral because he won't be 18 months. So 1985 onwards, whoever is born will not be on that electoral roll. Then, Malaj, anybody born after 2007 will not be on the electoral roll. Right, Malaj? So we are talking of people born from 1985 onwards to 2006. Right? Now, Malaj, I'll assume for a moment, let's forget about objection in Form 7. Let's forget that. My lord asked me a very important question, so I'll try and answer that. So, Malaj, the scheme of the Citizenship Act is, if you are born prior to 1987, as long as you're born prior to 1987 in India, you're a citizen of India. That's the Citizenship Act. If you are born between 85 and 87, you are a citizen of India. If you are born in India. If you are born between 1987 to 2003, one of your parents have to be citizens of India. Now, I'll pause here. Mullah, the enumerator asks him, please tell me when your father was born. Give me proof of that. How will you give it?
Oh, but Mr. Sibal, if I remember correctly, they also said that if the parents or grandparents or any maternal side, if they were there in the 2003 list, then also you are not required to furnish.
Correct. So that we'll exclude that. Well, let's exclude all those. I'm asking the person who's
correct that, because if I
yes, they said that. They said whether that is followed or not, I don't know. But be that as it may. But well, supposing so I have to go to the electoral roll.
Probably they followed, because we were asking for different kind of data. Then a particular figure was given of those persons whose parents or grandparents were there in 2003 list.
But Malaj, that person, a lady who is married, who's gone to another place, will have to produce that electoral roll. Malaj, kindly see the practical difficulties on the ground.
Mr. Sibal, please divide the arguments on procedural, which you would make good, but on normative plane. Let us see the rules on the normative plane, whether it conforms, as you rightly say, to the rights of the election commissioner under the RTI Act and the other allied laws like the Constitution and the Citizenship.
Correct. But Manoj, the fundamental point is, Manoj, there's a lack of jurisdiction. The fundamental point is, how is he to determine? He's a teacher in a school. How is he going to determine that? He can't, Malaj,
He would
because the
just see-
status is granted by the central government.
As per the rules, he would just see whether person's name appears in the 2003 rolls
Yes,
and persons who were born after 85, as you rightly say,
Yes.
whether one of his parents are appearing in the 2003 rolls.
right.
That is how he satisfies himself on this prima facie level.
Correct, correct. correct.
Not as to whether that entry
So
was
well,
correct.
that's his duty, Malaj. That I agree. So the
Inconvenience may not be a good ground for the reason, because 2003 list is also online available.
if he verifies it, fine.
While sitting anywhere, you could apply online.
I
Therefore, one has to download one
I
document,
agree.
attach and send it.
I agree, Malaj. I don't dispute that. It can happen. So, Malaj, let me take the case that he looks at the role that he accepts.
We are not shutting you out, Mr. Sibal, on the procedural unfairnesses.
Yes.
What we are first seeing is whether under the normative scheme of the Representative People's Act and the allied laws, the notice that they have given is ultra vires or not.
Yes, absolutely. Malaj. Now, let's take the case of a person whose father's name is not on the electoral roll. Malaj, what's the question he will ask? Produce proof of your father, your mother.
Then he has to produce those illustrative documents.
But he can't, he will.
It's Form 6.
It will not
Because
have that, Malaj. He will not, many millions of, lakhs of people will not have that. How will they have that, Malaj? Because they'll have to show date of birth of the father or the mother.
No, your date of birth.
What?
The enumeration form prescribes certain categories of person who are either not on the 2003 rolls
Yes,
or whose at least one of their parents is not in such role
correct.
to put in certain documents which we, by our order, included
But
Aadhaar.
those documents will not be with him, Malaj, or her. Because those documents are passport, those documents are all those documents, Malaj, which a person may not have. That's the point I'm making, Malaj. Those are documents, Malaj, by which it will be presumed that you are a citizen. But those documents will not be available with many people in this country. That's all that I'm trying to say, nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. And if he is born between 2003 and 2007, then two things have to be proved. That one of them is a citizen of India and the other is not an illegal migrant. How will he prove that? And how will he have that? Malaj? So these are very difficult procedural issues which are per se unreasonable. All right. Now let's assume, Malaj, that this is all reasonable. I'll presume on that also. That's all reasonable. Now, Malaj, what will the BLO do? He will say he's not a citizen. He can't do that. He can't do that. If he excludes him from the roll without deciding on the citizenship, Malaj, his opinion may be completely wrong, but he'll be excluded, and he'll be excluded from all benefits. All benefits under the law, under every scheme of this country. Malaj, is that what is contemplated by the electoral, by the law, Malaj? That's the question that, Malaj, I am posing for your lordships to consider. Now, Malaj, let's look at their manual. Now, kindly see volume 4A. Chapter 7 starts at page 184. Malaj, this chapter starts with determination of citizenship, which is chapter 7, last 4 lines of 188. It all deals with citizenship. The sentence is starting, it is clear. 7.7.8, last 5 lines. It is clear that if the electoral registration officer has any doubt regarding issue of registering of any person applying for registration or considering any such objection against a person already enrolled in an electoral roll, he should refer the case to the Union Government, Ministry of Home Affairs for determining that issue under the Citizenship Act, which is what we have been, Malaj, trying to persuade your lordships to accept. This is their manual. And, Malaj, it would be, as a matter of law, an entirely dangerous proposition to have a teacher in a school who is appointed to the BLO to determine this right. Substantively and procedurally, it will be unreasonable. That's why 15 has a scheme. It is in the context of 15 that I'm making this argument. Citizenship decided by Home Ministry. Unsound mind decided by court. Disqualification decided by a law under which that he is disqualified, Representation of People's Act, corrupt practice, many other things. That's the scheme of 15. When you come to registration and you come to age, other. That, according to me, is the scheme of the Act. So any intensive revision